Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to our channel. My name is Beck. I'm a professional mindset coach and I have a background as a medical doctor. I liberate driven, successful women from disempowering mindsets such as perfectionism, imposter syndrome and people pleasing so that they can show up in their life in a way that they're proud, expressing and asserting themselves to finally create the life that they deserve. Currently, I do this work through one-on-one coaching, but my practice is currently full. You can jump on the waitlist down below to be the first to hear about when new consult opportunities come up. But soon I'm also going to be opening my group coaching program, which is going to make this work more widely accessible, more affordable, more at your own pace, and completely amplified. As we build this community, we get to see and be inspired by other women doing the work, applying this work in their lives. My beautiful friends, it is going to be life-changing. I can't wait until the doors open. Jump on the waitlist down below. Now in today's video, as promised, I'm giving you my first hot tip on how to deal with negative people. Now in the last video, I tried to get started. I really tried to get there, guys, but I went on a bit of a rant on boundaries, talking about why I don't like boundaries as a solution. I think that we are so quick to slap a boundary on things, and it is necessary in some cases, yes, but in a lot of cases, the boundary can be very disempowering. And one boundary here and there, no, yeah, can be empowering, can be good. But when we overuse boundaries in our lives, it can make us progressively disempowered, progressively smaller. It can reduce our opportunities and ultimately take us further away from who we want to be for the sake of that short-term outcome. So let me be careful to not go on another rant. You can go and watch that video. I will pop a link up here so you can just have a quick click and sit back, relax, open your mind and have a listen to a perspective on boundaries that you might not have heard before. Now, just to be clear, I'm not against boundaries. When I'm working with my clients, sometimes we do choose to execute on a boundary or create a boundary for our own emotional or physical safety. But I don't often hear anybody talk about this negative or counterproductive side of boundaries. So check it out. Today, my hot tip on how to deal with negative people. Are you ready for this? You might not like it. Stop calling them a negative person. Okay, hear me out. You might be able to tell me, you might be able to fight for the idea, you might be able to write an essay, give a hot debate, peer validated paper on why this person is factually a negative person. But I want to ask how that is useful to you in you showing up and you getting what you want, right? So here's what I commonly see happen when we call somebody else a negative person. When I ask you, one of my clients, or my own mind to elaborate on why they're a negative person or what it means that this person is a negative person, we'll commonly hear something like, well, they're unreasonable. Well, they just want to complain. Well, they're different from me. I'm a positive person, I'm solution focused. They're a negative person, they're problem focused. Now, from a coaching perspective, these are all thoughts. These are how we're interpreting another person. And I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. That's not my goal here, and that's not what we do a lot of the time in coaching. But we want to ask if these thoughts are moving you closer to your goal or further away from your goal, right? That's all. It's that simple. But when we're too focused on validating the facts and making ourselves right, we don't think that way. We're just like, I'm right, this is right, so I'm going to keep charging forwards with this pattern of thinking. But today, stay with me and let's explore a little bit about whether or not you want to continue to think this way when it comes to dealing with negative people, right? You're watching this video because you want to learn how to deal with negative people better, which could be translated to something along the lines of, for me and for my clients, I want to learn how to behave in the presence of a negative person that is within my integrity, not doing myself a disservice, not giving me something to not be proud about or cause me shame or for me to feel regret about, and for me to move towards my goal. If you're interacting with this person who you've deemed negative and you're finding it frustrating, the chances are that there's some kind of attachment here. There's something that you need or want this person for. Maybe they are a work colleague and you simply can't escape them. You need to show up with them and have this ongoing relationship with them. Maybe they're your most intimate person in your personal life. Maybe it's your spouse, or maybe it's a parent or a sibling or a close friend. And I'm sure you love them to bits, but there are parts of them sometimes that just really annoy you about how they're negative, or whatever your specific judgment is. So let's just say that this isn't a person who you just want to delete or remove from your life, but they're going to be an ongoing part of your life, and you want to deal with them in a way that supports your goals for the relationship and also supports your integrity. So let's have a look at the impact of when you think just these 3 example thoughts of what it means to be negative. So first, you tell me that, well, they're negative because they're unreasonable. If you believe that someone is unreasonable, how does that affect how you show up with this person? Well, if you believe that they're unreasonable, then you're not going to try to reason with them, are you? If you believe they're unreasonable, you're not going to try and understand their reasons. You're not going to look for their reasons or see how they relate to yours. They're unreasonable. Why bother? Right? Do you like the way that you show up when you believe they're unreasonable? Does it support your goals, what you want out of this relationship, when you believe they're unreasonable? Now, I'm not trying to lead you any way here, by the way. You don't have to suddenly drop the thought. I just want you to get interested in the outcome of this thought for you. Start to wonder, get curious. Now, the second example we gave was the belief that they just want to complain. Now, when you believe that they just want to complain, that their only goal or intention here is to complain, then you won't try to look further at what's behind their complaining. What is the goal of them complaining? If you put complaining in the behavior line, it's a behavior that somebody does and it's driven by an emotion which is driven by a thought. There's more to it than just the act of complaining. And people have gone so far to say, and I find this true certainly in my personal relationships, that every complaint is a request in disguise. So when you believe they're just complaining, you just leave it at that. Do you like the way that that affects your behavior? Now, the third example I gave you was, well, they're just different from me. I'm positive, they're negative. Oh, what can I do? We're just different, end of story. You can see that if you believe that, then you stop trying to understand them. You stop trying to reach. You stop attempting to connect with this person. You continue to separate from them. You create more and more and more distance. You become more and more and more different. You see them as being different. Do you like this outcome that you get? That you stop trying to understand them, another person in your life? Does it bring you closer to your goals with this relationship with this person, no matter how superficial or professional, whatever it is? If you stop trying to understand your work colleague, is that going to make your relationship with this person at work better? Is this going to make your work life better? Is this going to support your goals at work? If you stop trying to understand your colleagues, if you continue to see them as very different from you, and that there's no point in trying to understand them. So my beautiful friends, I know this one might push your buttons a little bit and make you a little bit uncomfortable, but I hope you can see the impact of our thoughts on our own behavior, right? Even if you don't have a specific goal that you want to achieve with this person, even if you're not working towards something or having an ongoing relationship, it's really important for us to be happy and well in our lives, I believe, to know that we're acting in integrity. Do we want to be the kind of person who writes somebody off with a label and says they're unreasonable and doesn't try and reason with them? They're just complaining, doesn't seek to understand the goal of the complaint. Do we want to be the kind of person who just says they're different? I'm just going to create more separation and less connection here. Do you want to be that kind of person? The answer might be yes. It might be what you want in your life right now. But I just want to pose the question so you know that it's there. And so you don't feel stuck in these traps of labeling somebody else as something that makes you feel and act in a way, let's be honest, makes you more of a negative person. You can always turn this work around on yourself. My beautiful friends, if you've gotten to this point, thank you so much for your open-mindedness. I appreciate you. The world needs more people like you who are willing to look at themselves, for the greater good, to have these really challenging conversations where we look at ourselves and we can recognize that sometimes we all don't behave in a way that we like, and that we need to do some very deliberate course correction. I'm not immune to this. This is my ongoing work. This is why I continue to get coached too. I believe this is the work that we'll have to do for the rest of our lives, and I believe it's 100% worth it. The amount of humility that coaching has created in me feels expansive, and it makes me feel a lot more connected with the world. I appreciate the imperfections of humans more than I ever imagined I could, and I think my ability to connect with other people and love other people has been 10 times by this work. And to love and connect with myself too, because there's no one more aware of my own imperfections and my own work than me. So my beautiful friends, if you know that this is the kind of work that you need to live the life that feels integrous to you, then jump on my wait list down below. I cannot wait to meet you, and I'll see you guys in my next video.